Before I get my work day started, I just wanted to share something. I had a client come in, their family. The wife, she came in already angry. The husband, calm. I sat him down. I slightly introduced myself and then asked him if they'd been here before. As she pulled out a wad of unorganized paper, she said yes, and I had the most horriblest experience. I was like, well, I'm sorry that you had that experience. I asked for their IDs, and I pull them up in our system, and come to find out, they've been here like 10 years ago. So as she continues to have an attitude, I wanted to tell her, I'm sorry you had that experience 15 years ago or 10 years ago, but I'm not the tax preparer that prepared your taxes. So I should not have to endure the unforgiveness that you have and the attitude. But I did not. I was like, well, I hope this time we can make it a better experience. She began to ask me, can I get an estimate, if she can get an estimate without having her child social security number of how much she would get back. I said, I'm sorry, I cannot do that. So then that brought on even more of an attitude. So she starts slinging papers and pulling each one out one by one real slowly and just trying to get a reaction. Her husband sitting there really calm. So at first I'm thinking, oh, okay, because he had, his Trump shirt on. So I'm thinking, they came in to cause a little chaos. But really it was because she was still dealing with feelings and unforgiveness that she had for a company for something that happened 10 years ago. Now, why she would choose to come back knowing that it triggered her, I have no idea. But I knew that two things was going to happen. One, she was wanting an estimate, and if that estimate was not what she wanted to hear, she was going to cancel her service anyway. Two, once I gave her the price, that she was going to cancel her service anyway. So what did I end up doing? I asked her before I even put anything in the computer, because just from the way she was responding I already kind of had a feeling of what she was going to do. I asked her if she wanted a price estimate first. She had a lot of paperwork, and I knew that her price was going to be high. So I gave her a price, and that kind of frustrated her even more. And she says, I am not paying that. I said, well, I can give you a discount. And she looked at her husband, and she said, I can get this for this much. He's like, well, where are we going to go? And so she began to tell him, and she said, well, we're not going to do it. I said, okay, well, I'm sorry that you decided not to have our services, but if any other time, please, we're here. As they left out, I kind of, I just want to say, stop bringing your grudges, your unforgiveness, your attitudes to situations that happened to you years ago. It was years ago, and I understand that there's triggers. She might have seen the building and got mad all over again. I understand it. But to have that much hate for something or unforgiveness for something that was 10 years ago, an experience that happened 10 years ago, and you holding on to that, it's time to let that go. Because now you're walking around with an attitude determined to make everybody else's day or experience as bad as yours, when that person had nothing to do with that experience. We need to begin to change our behaviors. Now, I could have prejudged it from what they were wearing and how, and the attitude. I could have totally took that totally off the book and had no idea what the experience was. But when she said what it was, I already knew. Now I'm glad she decided to come back and allow us to possibly do her services again. And maybe this was a healing point for her.